everyone, it's Jack and Ross from Cultaholic.com, and we are back with more exciting wrestling news. Some of it concerning Raw last night, some of it concerning potential things that may have happened in the past but then didn't. Ross, are you excited?
Yes, I'm so excited, Jack. Look at how excited I am. It's all over me face. Written all over me face, Jack. I can't wait. Tell us the headlines, Jack. Tell us the headlines. Come on. What are you waiting for, Jack? Come on.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it. Let's look at them right now. First of all, we take a look at scrapped plans for a recent Vince McMahon WrestleMania match that never actually happened. Next up, a controversial superstar has made his Raw debut. And finally, another Raw superstar is off the TLC card this weekend. So, first of all, Ross, Kevin Owens has been doing the media rounds. He's been talking to various different news sources, and one of them was, of course, Kenny McIntosh. We know and love Kenny very much. And he was talking to him about a recent WrestleMania match that was supposed to perhaps involve Vince McMahon, but never did. Have you read into this? Do you know what this was about?
I know what the match is about, but I want you to tell me, Jack. I want you to tell me with quotes and facts and statistics.
Luckily, I've got them right in front of me now. So Kevin Owens said to Kenny McIntosh, I really think at one point there was a chance it was going to be me and Sami Zayn against Shane and Vince McMahon at WrestleMania, which would have been incredible. I agree, it would have been incredible. I mean, Vince is getting on a bit, though. I'm not sure about Vince being involved.
He would have been 72 years of age at the time of that match happening. I worked this out via maths and a calculator and some things on the Google machine. But Vince McMahon is 72 years of age. He's in better shape now than me, sat here now, and I'm 28 years old. I would have been 25, I think, at the time of WrestleMania 34. Daniel Bryan's return was good, of course. But a Vince McMahon match in 2018, that would have been sensational.
Bryan's return is obviously what ended up replacing it, and we'll get onto that in a second. But I think, I don't know really. You might say that Vince is in better shape, but is he going to be as durable? One solid blow, and he could easily injure himself.
This is a man who, of course, riled up Kevin Owens, probably called him a fat bastard numerous times in preparation for taking a solid shoot headbutt to the head. So some people might be saying, well, one bump, he might be a bit brittle at the age of 72, 73, whatever he was back then. But I'm saying there's so much muscle, so much beef on the bone. He could have had a 30-minute 7-star match. Okada, Vince McMahon, what's the difference?
Fair enough. Kevin Owens also said that basically he elaborated on this slightly and said, I remember one of the things that Vince told me was, I can't run WrestleMania and focus on a match at the same time. It's obviously something he's done in the past, but maybe now he thought. Interestingly, he didn't use his age as an excuse. He said, I can't do both. I can't be wrestling and running the show at the same time.
Is it any coincidence that, WrestleMania 17 is largely accepted as the greatest WrestleMania of all time? Vince McMahon had a big, old, sweaty match there against his son and with Linda and a nut shot. So he couldn't have been on hand to run that entire show from top to bottom, and it's the best WrestleMania of all time. So maybe Vince McMahon micromanaging everything on the card. Maybe that's not the best idea.
That is very true. Owens also said that Vince felt his best position was to not be in the ring, but also it was the perfect situation for Daniel Bryan's return. He got cleared medically and the storyline was already in progress. But it would have been fun to keep that story with Vince going, or to have more interactions with him, because whether people want to admit it or not, to be in a story with Vince in any way, shape or form, to be on television with Vince, it helps as a start to the fans that are watching on TV. So it helps elevate whoever's in the ring with him, which is true. I remember when Owens got put in that angle with Vince, everyone was like, whoa, this means that he's got the full backing of WWE. So that does make sense in a way, I suppose.
It does completely. Vince isn't going to allow everybody to nut him. It was that episode of SmackDown, wasn't it, where Vince actually said to Kevin Owens, come on, you've got to do it proper. I might be 72, but you've got to just knock me out, Kevin, with a headbutt. And he wouldn't allow anybody to do that, let's just say that.
Yeah. Kevin Owens was also talking to various other news outlets. I'm just going to run with these stories just right now because it was all in the same sort of media call by the looks of it. So he was also speaking to Metro UK on that match, the headline says, with Goldberg. I'm assuming that means the very, very short match where he lost the Universal Championship. You're sighing there.
It should have been Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens for the Universal title that year. It should have been. It shouldn't have been the second match on the card with the story they had behind them. Scandalous scenes by WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wouldn't even be the last time that WWE would hotshot the Universal title onto Goldberg. We saw that in Saudi Arabia against The Fiend. and then that match at WrestleMania against Braun Strowman. And there are rumours currently as well, of course, that Roman will be facing Goldberg. Although Roman's got various different potential opponents at WrestleMania, but one of them is Goldberg, and that would be a rematch from, well, not a rematch, that would be the match finally happening that was meant to happen this year. Owens spoke about Goldberg to Metro UK and said, "I'd love to work with him again if he was here to work." Shade thrown there.
Well, that's not going to happen, is it? 30 seconds and we're going home, brother.
He said, "I'm not saying this is his fault, but he's not." And then he stopped. The sentence tails off there. His career has never been about long matches or anything like that. To me, I don't see much positive out of wrestling him for 2 minutes or 20 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever. You know what I mean? I'd love to work with him again if you got to do a story beyond. All we did was about 2 weeks, maybe 3. Which is fair enough. I see what he means.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I've sat here on this channel many times saying that Goldberg's a big reason I got into professional wrestling, but sitting here now, I'm 28 years old, I don't want to watch Goldberg in the main event scene in WWE, squashing the lads and lasses who are going to be here in 5 years, in 10 years' time. Well, he said in the press over the weekend, I think he wants to retire in the next... What was the quote he used? I can't remember what it was. Me and Sam did a video on Saturday about it. He's 54 now, or 54 very soon. He doesn't see himself doing it when he's 60. So the window he's got, he shouldn't be beating the lads and lasses at the top of the card, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know what else you could do with Goldberg. That isn't sort of a 2-minute match, because that's... I know it's explosive and it's exciting, but it's not... It's all he can do at this stage in his career, isn't it?
Yeah, he was also speaking with Alex McCarthy as well, and Owens there talked about, well, I believe the question he was asked was who he would like to team with in a tag team, because Owens has never won tag team gold in WWE. He's held various other titles, of course, but never in a tag team. He has been in tag teams before, but he's not really a tag team guy. And the 3 people that he specified that he would like to tag with, and that one of them's kind of an obvious, well, not obvious, but a reasonable shout. The other 2 are a little bit more surprising. Those 3 were AJ Styles, which I think makes a lot of sense. They're 2 kind of super indie workers, yeah. The other 2, sorry, Mustafa Ali, which that seems really interesting, because obviously Owens is a way bigger star than Ali, but maybe he'd want to elevate him by being...
That could be one hell of a babyface tag team, because looking back to those promos Ali used to do off his own back in his back garden with the snow behind him and whatnot, he's one hell of a babyface when he's not part of some silly bollocks like Retribution.
and the third one, Apollo Crews. So obviously Owens sees something there. That's someone he's worked with in the US title scene this year. Maybe he enjoyed doing that, and maybe he wants to work with him a bit more. I don't know.
I'm shocked by no Daniel Bryan, because they've got something kind of going on SmackDown at the minute against Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, and there seems to be quite a natural sort of chemistry between those 2, and we both know they're very entertaining, both very funny, and I'm surprised Daniel Bryan's not on that list.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because those were the 3 main ones that he pinpointed, but during the interview he also mentioned, kind of in a more offhanded way, Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan as 2 people that he would like to have a run with as a tag team. So, I mean... I see why Sammy wasn't one of his 3, because he's teamed with him before. Yeah,
it's happening now, isn't it?
But yeah, you're right. Daniel Bryan should have been in the top 3. Kev, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're wrong, Kevin, with your own opinion.
Owens was, of course, part of this media call in the build-up to his big match at TLC this Sunday, where he's taking on Roman Reigns in a TLC match for the Universal Championship. And he's not going to win. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Well, he's picked up the table, hasn't he, Jack? He got a bit sexual on SmackDown, saying that the table was... He called her a she, for first of all, and how it'll be lovely when it receives Roman Reigns' lifeless body and all that stuff. But I think he set it up there, so Kevin Owens will lose that match by going through a table, and Roman Reigns will pluck down the title. I think that's what will end the match.
Maybe so. Next up, anybody who watched Raw last night will know that a controversial superstar has made his Raw debut, and it's none other than Big Jackson Riker. It was rumoured recently that he would be partnering with Elias. I think they appeared on Main Event together, was it?
Last week he had a white wife beater on, but last night, Jack, he had a black shirt on, so whatever that means. Oh.
Very versatile from Jackson there. He was with Elias on Raw last night. Elias introduced him as his bodyguard, I think was the position that he gave him. He is my bodyguard, because Elias is sick of being interrupted all the time. Which makes sense in case Elias does get interrupted all the time. They were then immediately interrupted by R-Truth, who just wanted to apologise for interrupting the week before.
But he was interrupted while doing it. And it was
yeah.
Then the 24/7 stuff happened, and my body went numb. Because it's the same every week, and I'm bored of it. Just do something different. You won a golf course last year in an aeroplane. Do more of that stuff, man. I know there's a pandemic going on, but we can do some stuff. Some stuff outside.
Think of more creative stuff to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the 24/7 division ran down to chase R-Truth, and Jackson Riker dealt with them. He beat up Grand Metalik. He threw Tozawa over the top rope onto a crowd of other 24/7 lads below, including Eric of the Viking Raiders. And it seems like him and Elias are a duo now. I don't know if I was about to say a tag team, but I don't know if they're a tag team or if he's just his heavy, I suppose.
I reckon they'll become a tag team, surely. The big sweaty man, heel tag team. But we also learn why Jackson Riker has aligned with Elias, and it's because Elias's music has changed him.
Oh, yes, he said that, didn't he?
He's seen the light, hasn't he, Jack? He's seen the light. He's no longer an arsehole, and Elias's music has changed him. And that's good news.
Yeah, that's good. Right,
that's
fair
good
enough.
News.
Well, I mean, he did say some controversial stuff earlier on this year, so if Elias's music has changed him for the better, then fair enough. I mean, it's weird. He's came back at the same time as the other two Forgotten Sons, but now they're on SmackDown. And they're no longer the Forgotten Sons of Blake and Cutler. They are I hope I get this right, the Knights of the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin. What a name. What a powerful name that is. Who do you think is going to be better off out of those two or Jackson Riker?
Neither.
Right,
none of the
none
above.
of them. Okay,
none of the
enough.
above. Wait, I guess the two lads on SmackDown are going to get a more prominent role because it's King Corbin, isn't it? He's always on the telly. Good for him.
That is true. He is always on the telly.
I don't think we need to ramble about this anymore. Jack, a man has returned to Raw, and he's not going to do much, I don't think. He's just going to be a bodyguard.
Interestingly, I was just about to segue there, actually. I had a good one, because I was gonna do a bit of a Matthew and be like, speaking of not being on telly, a star is not on TLC. They have been pulled from the show despite being booked in a match on the card, and it's none other than Lana, who was obviously going to face Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the women's tag team titles alongside Asuka. But now Asuka's got to find herself a new partner because Lana's been brutally beaten, Ross. Did you see it? You see it last night?
Yes, I did. Lana got a big win over Nia Jax. A very nice pinning combination in the corner there. I liked how she did some techers there. It was very good. Liquid wrestling, in my humble opinion, as I sit here, a wrestling expert.
Miro taught her it.
I've seen that tweet. That's not what I was going for. I just thought it was a nifty manoeuvre. She pulled off in the corner to get her down and bent over that quickly. That came out wrong. Yeah. But I think this is setting up a return for Charlotte Flair. Is it not?
Oh, I was not thinking Charlotte Flair, but that makes more sense than what my guess was.
Who are you guessing?
Eva Marie.
Why the hell not?
Well, why not?
Yeah. Make us right. Apparently, PW Insider have confirmed our report, our scope, that Eva Marie is officially on a roster, not confirmed, not SmackDown, not Raw, not NXT, but she's on the active roster internally in the company, so it could be. But I've just been looking at Charlotte Flair posting all these workout videos with Manny, otherwise known as Andrade. She's posting the picture on Twitter yesterday where she's looking jacked, baby.
Real jack, brother.
Real gains, jack. I think they say in the gyms.
Yeah, all kinds of gains, yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. And if Charlotte did come back, you'd have to expect them to win the tag belts. Anytime there's a mystery partner involved, I fear for the opponent of the mystery partner.
I know it might be another shades of like, oh, how can these two get along with their history and all that malarkey, because that's what we like to do with the women's tag team titles, even though I'm bored of it, Am I just bored of WWE Raw completely? I don't know.
I mean, it's every tag team.
A lot of it is the same though, isn't it?
None of them get along.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, Lana's off the card because after she'd beaten Nia, she got beaten down by Shayna and Nia. They battered her and twisted her limbs and stamped on her limbs and
brutal,
all sorts of horrible stuff. Lana got carried out. There was a WWE Network exclusive where she was stretchered off to a local medical facility, and later on in the show there was a measure of revenge carried out on the champs because Shayna had been wrestling Dana Brooke, and Shayna needed Nia to cost her the match and make it a DQ because Dana was kicking Shayna's ass. Dana was dominating Shayna Baszler.
That's not a sentence I want to hear.
No. Dana was dominating. She was about to win. She went up top. Nia pushed her off and the match got thrown out. And then they were beating up poor Dana, and then Mandy came back because she's been off for a little while apparently. Not very long.
Nia hurt her arm, didn't it? Putting her through the ropes a bit too hard.
Oh, was that it? Well, Mandy came back with a kendo stick and battered them, and Asuka came out and helped as well. So Mandy could be the mystery partner, but I think she's still in a tag team with Dana, more likely.
Yeah, she's got her own tag team. It has to be somebody else, surely.
Yeah, it's probably going to be. I think you've got a good shout there with Charlotte, but I think Eva Marie, maybe she'll come back in the Rumble.
Yeah,
who knows?
all red everything, all Rumble everything.
Well, that's it for this news video. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and stay safe and positive out there in these testing times. Ross, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
Cheers, and we'll see you very soon.